Hey Triple M members, it's me, Monkey Dragon here, and the topic of today's video is Star Wars Battlefront Tier 3, and with that, let's go and begin. Okay guys, first off I want to say I'm sorry for my brief hiatus, but with that being said, let's go and get straight into the news. So, we have a lot of Star Wars news coming up that came out of my recent little hiatus, like I mentioned just a few seconds ago. One of the big ones is they announced 3 more heroes slash villain. Well, I guess heroes and villains because it was 2 heroes and 1 villain. Anyways, let's get into it. One of the first heroes that they did announce was Leah. And the way they described her is that she's an offensive support character, which is really interesting for me because of the reason being of the support. It had me thinking of, like, how exactly could she help her teammates? And, well, the way she helps her teammates is in her abilities. And one of her first abilities is basically that if you spawn closer to her, which I'm not sure exactly how that works, like if there's a spawn point or what that means, but if you spawn close to her, you apparently spawn in as a Durian honor guard. Sorry, I probably butchered that, but apparently I guess you would have either excess health or maybe a bit more damage or something like that, but that seemed pretty interesting to me. I'm not sure exactly how you spawn near her. Maybe there's like a hero icon and you're like, spawn on her. I don't know. It seems really interesting. It'll be curious to see how that plays out. But another thing, or at least one of her abilities that you're actually able to use, is this ability called Trooper's Bane, which is essentially something that she's supposed to shoot like one at a time, just really slow bursts. And essentially it'll one-shot kill a trooper, which is pretty freaking crazy. And it says that if you hit one of the hero or the villains, I was going to say heroes, but they're villains on this side, or at least on the opposite side of her, apparently they'll be doing more damage, which is pretty interesting. And the fact that one-shotting troopers is a bit crazy. It'll be, once again, curious to see how they balance out that power. One of the next things that she does have is an enhanced squadron shield, which is pretty dang powerful the way they described it, and that being that it has a longer duration and it can absorb more damage. It says they can also protect against some force abilities, so I'm not sure if that's like lightsaber throw. I'm not sure if it'll protect against like force choke or force push or anything like that. For me, the way I would think that it would work is it would protect against any kind of range based things. And the lightsaber throw, I guess I'll say, because force choke and force push are both range-based things. But you guys get what I'm saying. I'm sure that it'll block like lightsaber throw or maybe lightning or something like that. Since you really don't have to worry about force push because Luke is on your side, so I'm assuming it'll affect those kind of things. It also said that she is able to shoot out of it, Leah being out of the shield if she's using Trooper Bane, which is pretty crazy. How they balance this, there's a lot of things here that as they keep talking more and more about the heroes, it's like, that seems incredibly powerful, but then you think to yourself, like, wait, these are heroes and villains. They're meant to be super powerful, but it's like, oh, I wonder how bad it will be to play against these guys. It'll be awesome to play with them, but pretty bad to play against them. Her last ability is this ability called Supply Drop, which is essentially, she calls in support, as they call it, to have power-ups for your friends or health boosts for other heroes, which I wonder how exactly that'll work out, whether or not it's like a predetermined location, or if like she gets the, kind of like the old school kind of thing, like calling it and then you choose location, or if it's just on you or something like that. So depending on how that's exactly called in, that could be pretty powerful too. If you get it just like shield, health, and then you just constantly loop that back and forth and really have to put some kind of delay on that, because if you could just keep on calling that in and just getting health for yourself, or depending on how the other game modes work and everything, that can be really powerful. So it'd be pretty crazy to see how that thing works. The next hero that they did announce was the one, the only Han Solo. And he has, once again, some awesome stuff, since he's not I was gonna say a Force person, but a Jedi or a Sith. Since he doesn't have a lightsaber or anything like that, they have to make it interesting. So one of the first things that he does have is apparently, or at least one of his abilities is whatever you guys want to call it. He's supposed to be able to move very fast and be very dexterous to get out of situations and stuff. That's one of the ways that he described his character. They did say that one of his abilities is called rapid fire, which is essentially you activate this thing and you can fire the gun as fast as you can pull the trigger without worrying about an overheat, which is awesome. I can imagine myself just because although you may be a hero, sometimes you walk into a hallway, since, I mostly played Hoth and stuff like that, because that's the only time that you get to play as the heroes during the beta. And, you're like, what can I do here? And if you're like Luke, you're like, force push or something, and you don't get all of them. But if you're just like, rapid fire, and then you just mow everyone down, that'd be awesome. I could just picture myself just lighting fools up. They did say that or at least one thing that they were mentioning is a lot of these heroes have like counters to each other and all this kind of stuff, and with his next ability, Lucky Shot, which is which they called it a build up and release power that's supposed to be really effective against heroes and vehicles. And two of the effects that they did say it does have in here is that it could break Darth Vader's block, which is, if you guys don't know, you could do this block ability with Darth Vader and Luke, that if you're shooting bullets at them, they can just reflect them back to you. And it says that it can block that ability, which is also pretty powerful. They also mentioned that you could shoot Boba Fett out of the sky, which is also pretty powerful. I'm not sure if it'll be like the effect of like when you shoot the guy and he's like, you just whizzle off, or if he's just like, my jets need to cool down, and then he's just grounded for a little bit. So that'll be pretty cool. Man, I like this. This is going pretty awesomely. I really like all these abilities that are coming in. It's gonna be interesting to see how they all play out. Which one's gonna be the most powerful? They also have one that's called the charge ability, and essentially you're able to, whatever direction you look in, just move really fast in that direction, which is really good for this guy, especially since he doesn't have a shield that can protect him against, incoming fire and whatnot. That, he's like, oh god, Darth Vader, run away, and then he just charges out of the distance. So that could be really, really powerful and really helpful to get out of like tricky scenarios, because one of the things they said is, since, he's not crazy good against Darth Vader and stuff in close quarters, you gotta be able to get this guy out of the way. Like they said before, he's a very dexterous character. He has abilities and whatnot, mentioning this one, to be able to get in and out of fights, which is pretty good for this guy, because, once again, no lightsaber to just be deflecting bullets back. So pretty important that he have something to like protect himself in some small regard. And the final hero that they did announce for us, which is something that I guess you guys could have all suspected from the very beginning, Emperor Palpatine. It is awesome, the abilities they gave this guy. Apparently his main attack is Force Lightning. What? He doesn't have a lightsaber? Like, that's what I'm picking up from this. His main attack is Force Lightning. So you're just running around, just mowing people down. They did say that there's a powerful version of this. Since pretty much you get like 3 abilities in this whole thing, it's interesting that they say that the more powerful version is like a chain effect. So I'm not sure if it's like a charge up, or if you got to do something, or if there's like a cooldown or something, if it like comes in and you're just like, you're just regularly using it. And then if you don't use it for a while, this is my own like predetermined assumption, that eventually it builds up and you're like, and it's supposed to be like an aerial effect around him and stuff. So it'll be cool to see how that works out. I really want to see this guy play. One of the next things, he does have a Force Dash. They did say, since he is kind of like how did they describe him? A deceptive person. He likes to play the weak guy, like, oh no, look at me, I'm so weak, and then just like, Force Lightning and kill people. So what they said is that, what I'm assuming is that, one, he'll move slowly, but he has this ability called Force Dash, where he's able to move very quickly in the direction that he's looking. And the way they phrased it makes me wonder whether or not, if you activate this ability, that you're able to just like move around, or if it is like much like the dash from Han Solo, where it literally is just like vroom, and you lurch forwards, if you guys get what I'm saying. But the way that they said that it's in the direction that you're looking, or in his current direction, is that whether or not you're able to move and change the direction or whatnot, or if it's just like a just really quick dash or something. It'll be pretty important to see how that all works out. One of his next abilities is much like Leia's, which is called the Imperial Resources, where he's going to be able to call in different abilities, or not abilities, but the power-ups, whether that be like the other little things, once again, another healing thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that ability of having health drops for other heroes. I wonder if you, being the support hero villain, won't be able to pick up the healths. It'll be interesting if that's how they handle it. Because that could change the game. Because if you could have that called in like in a pretty periodic time and just be able to pick up health, you could essentially live forever. Especially if you're Leia and you have this shield that you're able to shoot out of, just like shield, charge up, boom, take you out, boom, take you out, boom, take you out. So once again, interesting to see how this will all mesh. There's a lot of really awesome stuff that I'm just like, how will this work? This does not seem balanced, but they're saying constantly the thing that we've balanced it and play tested this. I'm like, I don't know. You guys may have just been going for a bro moment here. Wouldn't it be awesome if they had this? Wouldn't it be awesome if they had this? But it's like, I don't know. It seems crazy. Once again, as being the support villain, apparently he has this ability for you to be able to spawn near him, as they say, and you'll be spawned in as a powerful shock trooper, which, once again, like, how do you choose to spawn near him? Is it a locational based thing? Do you get a like hero icon or what's going on there? But yeah, that's pretty much all the information that we got for like the new heroes and villains. Well, new heroes and villain information that we got. It'll be really, really interesting to see how these all come out, because there is some crazy powers in here that I didn't think it was going to be a thing. I thought it was going to be a lot of like super dodges and just like crazy rapid fires, but now they're like support packages, massive shields, you're able to teleport. Like, it's like, whoa, this is crazy. So gotta wait until we get our hands on it. So some of the other things that we did get is some information on a game mode, which is like the heroes versus villains. If you guys want to check that out, link down below. Link down below to all the things I'm going to be talking about in this video. And it goes in depth about the heroes versus villains battle and stuff, and how it exactly works. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and check in the links down below. It'll be down there. There is also some more interesting things, or at least another game mode that they did announce, which is called battles. There's like battles, and then there's hero battles. And essentially the way this battle works is you can play against a team of AI, or you could play 1v1 or 1v1 with AI. And the way that'll work is essentially, you versus your buddy, but you have like a bunch of AIs going around, or like I said, 1v1, or you could just play against AI. I guess if you just want to derp around and just kill some things and whatnot. But those same verses or scenarios that I set up there are the same, but you could play it as heroes, where like you could play as a hero or a villain and play against AIs, or 1v1 hero versus villain battle, or you could do a hero versus villain with AI and stuff around. So that could be pretty fun to just screw around with your friends. I really see battles as just like a dick around kind of thing. It seems like it'd be fun to just be like, yes, I am Darth Vader, and you gotta kill some things. But essentially the way it works is, if you guys have played Call of Duty, essentially like kill confirm, you gotta pick up these little, what do they call them? Tokens? Tokens, from the enemies that you have killed, and first to 100 wins. So yeah, it's going to be fun to be like Luke versus Vader. And if you're going to constantly spawn in as Luke and Vader, there's going to be epic matches just in the middle of the screen. I imagine this being a lot like Street Fighter, where it's like, I am Luke and I am Darth Vader. Fight! And then just going at it and stuff. Oh, it's going to be fun. I could just imagine all the mashups that we're going to be doing, and it's going to be crazy good. They also have these things called training missions, which they said are not akin to tutorials and more along the lines of like training grounds for you to be able to practice your skills and whatnot. Some of the things that they did mention were missions such as called probe droids, which is will teach you about blaster star cards and making things go boom. So like objective playing and stuff like that, which will be that really sounds like a tutorial. Like, they said it's not a tutorial, but it totally sounds like a tutorial. Here's blasters. Here's how the basic functions of the game works. And here's how objectives are played. It's not a tutorial. It's a way for you to enhance your skills. Sounds like a tutorial. I'm sorry, but it totally does. They did have one that was called Beggar's Cannon, which you're able to play as the X-Wing going up and blowing up TIE fighters and stuff like that. So that was one that I'll probably actually partake in because I am absolutely horrible with the vehicles in this game. And it's not only because of the horrible sensitivity issue where they horribly linked up your mouse speed with every single vehicle and turret to being one, which is a horrible idea. Um, but I'm also just naturally bad with flying things. They have another one that's called Invasion. This way you can practice with the snow speeders, and that's one everyone should partake in because those snow speeders are absolutely atrocious. God, they were so horrible to pilot. And once again, it goes beyond the whole horrible sensitivity thing where like it's like dragging through like fudge and mud with slow sand and molasses. Like it's just like la 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 la, just doing laps on your mouse pad just to like turn 20 degrees or something. It was like notoriously really bad. But hopefully they fix that in the game, and if they do, I will definitely try it out in this tutorial thing. I'm calling it a tutorial. Like, there's no way these things are not tutorials. They're totally tutorials. They're not like scenario things. They did say that you got to play as the Empire. So one of the missions that you get to play is like the Walkers is overpowered. You also have this one called Endor Chase, where you got to chase down those filthy Imperials, the rebel scum through Endor. This way, on speeder bikes and stuff, and you chase people down and whatnot, which is just seems like you're adding another racing part to the game. Like, everyone get on your speeders and like you gotta go through and chase people down with obstacles. It totally seems like you throw in like a racing mini game into this game. It totally seems like that. They did say that you are able to play as like Darth Vader on the Hoth mission. This way you gotta see how powerful he is and stuff. It is a co-op thing, so you are able to play as a online co-op or split screen co-op, which is pretty important since you are playing a tutorial with a friend. It totally is a tutorial. It's called training missions. It's a tutorial. Like, I keep mentioning this because if you guys look at the link below, like they specifically, it's not a tutorial. It's like an exercise. Like, no, it's tutorial. They did briefly talk about some of the hero vehicles. Mostly about the slaver, which has been unfortunate. One of the things that they did mention was that you're able to get these things by pickups. I don't know why they had to explicitly say that, because that's how it worked in the beta itself. That's how you're able to play as Luke or Darth Vader. They did say that, and I quote, you've only got one spawn at your disposal. So I'm not sure if you get a come in as only one time as the vehicle, the hero vehicles, whether it's the Millennium Falcon or the Slaver 1, and come in, or if you get another spawn, because it says one spawn, which makes me think that, you have like two things. You have two lives with these hero vehicles, which is pretty freaking crazy. Some of the things, or at least some of the weapons that they mentioned for the Slaver one, was ion cannons, proton torpedoes, and a jammer, which can make you invisible not only to the mini-map, but if enemies have lock-ons from you, it gets rid of that, which is pretty powerful if you think about it, because those lock-ons are going to be really impactful to be able to take you out. So it's pretty crazy. They didn't give us any information, once again, about the Millennium Falcon and the abilities he have, which I was hoping for, because they mentioned both of them about playing as them. And in the article, I didn't read anything about the Millennium Falcon other than, it's powerful. They didn't really give any specifics on its abilities. I guess some side notes is they had the biggest beta to date for EA history, which is pretty crazy. They had like this huge poster board, which like gives all the things and stuff. Like, this is how many minutes we had. This is how many players played. This is how many people were killed with this weapon. It was pretty interesting to see, and I could see why, because it's Star Wars. Who wouldn't want to be playing in that beta? And they did some tweets where they like publicly announced that like, oh yeah, we're working on tweaking things such as like the third person ability, and how the rebels will be able to deal more damage in the Walker assault, which is pretty good because, like I said in my quick review thing, that you have to be a good team in order to beat a bad team on the Imperial side, because the Imperials, essentially, you don't even have to play in the Walker. Like, if you actually get a person on the Walker, it wrecks house. But for the most part, that thing is just an invulnerable moving tank just going through the battlefield. In only brief instances is it ever down, and for the most part, your entire team has to focus on not only avoiding those things and avoiding the chickens. You do have like competing air superiority, which is pretty powerful, but for the most part, it's really stacked in the Imperials' favor. So it's pretty good that they're making a little bit easier for the Imperials because it is crazy hard to try to beat that thing. I think, yeah, we didn't even beat it once. We came close a few times, but we never, I don't think we ever won as the Rebels. But yeah, I guess that's all the information we had. I'm sorry this video ran for so freaking long, but there was a lot of stuff to talk about, and hopefully I won't be gone for so long, so there won't be so much news. But hey, good news, there was a lot of news. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you stayed this long, let me know that you stayed to the end of the video. And with that, I'm Monkey Dragon. That's all I really got. Peace.